have a roof like this, and
Yeah.
it collapses like this. Hey!
You'll be in trouble,
We'll
Sam.
be in trouble, that's right. Hi, everybody. My name is Sam Goodwin with Hocoa, your home repair network. And today with me is Liz and Tony with Home Smart Realty West.
Yes.
There's some experts in real estate, and I brought them in here to talk to us about what's going on with the market. And but before we go into that, let's find out a little bit more about you, Liz and Tony. How did you become real estate pros?
The long and short is you learn by doing.
Yeah.
Really. It's
Right? Trial by fire?
Yeah.
So been through the real estate market. I started in 2003 and past the '08 market where over 50% of the realtors kind of went away in the business. So anyone survived that one, they're good realtors. They're able to have the staying power in there. So it's really, you have to, it's
So you've been in the business since 2003. Now, what about you, Liz?
I started in 2000.
Wow.
A few years before Tony.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and I really, I think my main reason was my father. He really inspired me. He took our family home, converted it into apartments.
Oh, really?
And then later on converted it into condo conversions and sold them all. And in fact, that was the way he afforded to send us abroad to study.
Oh, no kidding.
So it was very inspirational, and that's really got me intrigued with the real estate market and business.
No kidding. So your dad turned the family home into some condo or some apartments and then condos.
Yeah.
And, wow, that's pretty amazing. I mean, that's
took all 8 kids with eight
kids to college.
To college with that, yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
that's really, really cool.
Yeah.
Now you're real estate agents, but what kind of real estate do you focus on? Is it just residential, or what services do you offer?
We do like 4 and under units. If someone want to do commercials, we have people that we can refer them to do commercial buildings if they want to do that. I like helping people who want to achieve the American dream of home ownership. So first-time buyers, I love working with them. They're very appreciative. We help move-up buyers. We help people who want to invest. One client recently we helped, they wanted to keep their property, get something else, rent it out. So we show them how to do that. We have rentals ourselves. So
if the numbers make sense,
Correct.
instead of selling their home, rent it out and then take some of the equity and buy a second home with you.
Right, right, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, as long as the income's enough to cover it for the mortgage, you can work with the lender to make sure that that's covered. They just have to get qualified for the primary residence. There's more work involved, but we make it work for them.
But
we make it sound very easy here, but
there's a lot of steps
involved.
It is a lot.
There's
a lot involved with rentals, and we hold our hands with the rentals too. I mean, we are not property managers, but we will just lead them through and explain to them how to do it, and they're really appreciative of that.
And if it makes sense, right?
The numbers have to make sense. The numbers have to make sense.
It saves them the cost of having to pay 8%, 10% of their expenses, because that's what they would get charged. So I said, you can do it yourself. There's nothing like holding your own reins on your own property.
Right. That's so awesome.
Yeah.
And because you have rental properties yourself.
We do.
So
yes.
It makes sense. What are some of the things that a customer, or what's like the most surprising thing that you've seen in the business lately or over the years that you've seen?
Well, I've had buyers that have walked into homes and they just so intrigued and loved everything about it. They will say to me, Liz, I want this house and the furniture. And I even had one client, that said, and I want the dog.
Oh my God.
And I was thinking he was joking, but I think he was really serious.
No kidding.
He wanted the dog too.
Well, I like
so
dogs
you get all kinds of people in this business, you know.
Now, on some of the residential stuff that you do, we have a couple of houses that you've listed just recently, and we'll post those up. But one of the things that, obviously, since we're a home repair network, we get a lot of requests for are remodels. And the question I think a lot of people out there is that maybe they've been in the home for 20 years. They haven't done any kind of remodeling. They've just done maintenance to keep it up.
Right.
But they're looking to sell it, and they have a bunch of equity in it. You know, they go from a previous kitchen to a post kitchen. What do they kind of expect in terms of an ROI or return? Does it help them sell faster? What are those things?
Well, we find in just taking mostly the women are the buyers, even though the men have all the finances in order. The women, it's the bathrooms and the kitchens. So the kitchen remodel is big. And if you turn your kitchen around, and it varies as far as what you put into it. I mean, you can put in 10,000 all the way up to 50,000 in a remodel of a kitchen, because it is a
It could
wide
vary,
range.
yeah, no, absolutely.
But the return is huge. I think that's one of the biggest return of investment you can make is in your kitchens and bathrooms.
Oh, wow. Okay.
As far as numbers, that varies, you know.
Yeah, it depends on what neighborhood
Yeah.
you're in.
A neighborhood
right?
and how much you put
What
into the
comps
kitchen.
are.
Correct.
And again, that's why it's good to talk to a professional like Liz and Tony, who can find that information out before you, but, you know, $50,000 in the kitchen into a neighborhood that doesn't warrant a $50,000,
Might not,
right?
might not be worth it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's good to know. So you can help people with that as
Definitely.
well.
We can analyze that information and see, like, okay, does this make sense? Where's the cutoff point? At a certain point, you can over.
Right. What is it called? Gosh, there's a certain term for that. Law of diminishing returns.
Returns,
right?
right. But with your help, Sam,
Yeah.
we can help us with the contractors and the
materials, and we get wholesale pricing on that. But yeah, absolutely. And that's the great thing is we can provide multiple estimates. So it's not just, just this guy will do it for you. Here's 3 or 4 guys
Exactly.
that can bid on it, and that way you can get a really good price.
Very
for the
helpful.
project. Absolutely. But what's going on with the market right now? I mean, are we? I mean, immediately it's October 2018. What's happening in San Diego, North County?
Market's changing. Interest rates have gone up. It's still at a record low if you look at it and you kind of take the larger perspective.
Yeah, it's still, but it's like, oh my gosh, it went up a half a point or whatever.
Yeah, it's going
going up.
it's going to go up. That does slow the market speed. We're still technically in a seller's market. We have less than right now. Last look, I think it was 2.7 months worth of
Returns,
inventory
yeah.
supply, which means if there's no more homes put on the market, you would run out at that point. So technically, we're still in a seller's market,
Okay.
but it's been going up since December of last year.
Oh, wow.
The inventory has been slowly creeping up. So there's a little bit of a slowdown. Sellers have kind of a mentality back in the early 2000s. I can sell it for whatever I want.
Right.
No, you can't. It still has to appraise.
Yep.
Appraisers are really locked
Right,
down
that's
tight,
right.
so-
That's one of the things that you think, oh, my house is worth this, but
Yeah.
That's true.
which I'm sure 95% of people are buying houses with loans,
Yeah.
and they have to be appraised at that price.
Correct. So ultimately, it has to, the appraisal values it makes it. So you
Yeah.
have to make sure that when you're given realistic numbers, this is what actually has sold. This is what is
Right.
a material fact.
Okay.
And show them the hard numbers.
What are some of the things that people can do before, that they need to think about when they're calling you, thinking about listing their home, or there's a person out there that wants to buy? What are some of the things that they should be thinking about when first talking to you, or they should bring to you first?
Mostly, if it's a buyer, they really need to talk with a lender first, and get their finances in order. And if it's not in order, we actually could help them at that point as far as guiding them through some of the financials, what you shouldn't do, what you should do as far as their credit and things like that. But I would say that would be the first step, be the credit.
I particularly like to talk to them out of the gate when they're thinking about it, because depending on the questions I ask them, if they got a great FICO score and say, hey, they don't realize how strong they are, and if they have great FICO score, hey, you have enough money to come down, I might say, hey, you know what, go to the bank. You're like an A+ client, and they'll save you the most. This person has some issues. You're gonna need some work. It might take 6 months to ready.
Oh,
Then
okay.
I'll recommend go to a different lending institution that may be able to shop the loan and be able to work with the credit.
Well, you have
Get
some
fixed.
resources.
Oh, yeah.
Basically, what
Definitely,
you're
yeah.
saying is that you can help people that are
Absolutely.
interested
Definitely.
in buying. Now, what about sellers? Hey, I've been in a house for 5 years or 20 years. What should they think about when calling you, or should have? What are some of the things that are ideal for you?
Well, for us, with a seller, we will go in there and give them ideas of what they need to do to get the value up, meaning what things they can do to enhance the value by kitchens and bathrooms again, or maybe curb appeal, very important.
Yeah, that's the first
And
thing that
so
you
we
do
give
when
them,
you pull up to a house.
yeah,
is see
so we
the
give them a
curb,
lot of the
right?
tips to make the house more saleable. So we invite them to do that and let us come in, at least do that, and then we can give them a good market analysis of their
cool.
home.
Even with furniture, sometimes we can give them some advice regarding staging. If we have a stager that can come in, or we can say, you know what, if you just did this alone, this would help a lot. And
Wow.
a lot of times it's removing too many items that are in the room, because you tend to get overcluttered, and you have to have enough space so that a prospective buyer coming in
Right.
will be able to envision their items in the room, versus it's just there's no wall space.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Okay, so you obviously bring a ton of resources with you when somebody's looking to buy or sell a home. Are there any things that you'd like to add to our viewers that they're thinking about buying or selling a house, and what's the best way for them to actually get in contact? Because we could go on for hours talking about real estate. I can tell you about all the stories of my real estate, but we don't have time for that today. But what's the best way for people to get in touch with you? What's a good phone number for you?
Best way, phone 760-458-1583. That's my cell number. Best way, texting, wonderful.
Text, okay.
Text or phone calls, wonderful. Emails get a little
Yeah,
lost nowadays.
We get tons, right?
Yeah, so that's really the best way.
Text Liz or Tony.
Or
And
Tony.
then what's your website address?
www.sdhomesold.com.
Okay, great. Well, Liz and Tony, thank you so much for coming on today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
If you want, please like and share this, or have any comments, please put them below. And if you need to, we'll help you put in touch with Liz and Tony for all your real estate needs. And thank you so much for coming in
Thank
today.
you,
I
Sam.
appreciate
I
it.
really
My pleasure.
appreciate you having
That
us.
was awesome. It was a pleasure.
Thank
And we'll
you.
see you next time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.